Okay, hello everyone, Frasco here, welcome back. New video after a while. I'm gonna analyze my first two games of the World Cup. I'm in Group A, together with Superized Fish, aka World Champion, 2024 Hive World Champion, Hive 2 and Apollo. The first match I have to play that I completed was against Apollo, and I'm gonna show you the first two games. The match is composed by 4 games. I'm gonna show you first 2 games now and then other 2 games next video. First game I was playing white, played mosquito in line, a classic ladybug mosquito. My idea was to play buffer opening. I wasn't sure which side. Actually, it's not really. Everything is possible pretty much. So it's more black that will decide which configuration to play. Yeah, I think at some point it was considered a bit inaccurate because of this move that would control the space and prevent black from forming the pocket. But there are actually some ideas here for black to defend, so I didn't want to get too aggressive. It's also the first game. So I just complete the buffer. Interestingly, black doesn't do the same, so I was expecting something like this, so symmetrical, or something like this maybe. But black played this, which I'm not sure I like very much. The reason is that after this move I played, black has basically stuck this mosquito here in a bidirectional pin. Of course, it can be free simply by placing a new piece here, for instance. But this will leave these 2 ants stuck. It's a sort of structure that I don't like very much. I think black is stretching too much, but well, I mean, it's still the opening. Black decides to pin the ant, and interestingly, from this spot instead of this one. And there is actually a difference. The main difference is that with the pin during the game, this spot that has been just left empty by the ant can be used as a pseudo pocket. And so it's actually an interesting approach. Although this, as I said, leaves the mosquito here blocked in a bidirectional pin, so white also has to be careful. Black has to be careful. White can take advantage of that. I decided to place a beetle, but I could have also placed an ant actually. But I thought that it wasn't really I'm threatening to attack with a mosquito, but probably something like this would be okay. And now the mosquito is free to move. And black can also use the ant to defend against the beetle attack. Yeah, I think the attack is not really clear, so I decided let's go for the inner Hive game. And there's also always the option to use the mosquito as an ant, right, and attack if I decide it's the case. Pillbug here. There are 2 options actually that I could have placed here as well. Matter of taste. I took advantage of the fact that the pillbug wasn't placed there to control this spawn point. It's not particularly good move, probably. I could have also gone for something like this, but again, a similar attack as we've seen before. Unless I can free my mosquito after this, it's not particularly effective. If I play something crazy like this, then I think black is quite comfortable. it doesn't have to worry about anything. Place the beetle here because the mosquito will not be able to copy the mosquito unless there is another beetle next to it. These are the kind of situation that are usually quite favorable to black. So now my idea was control this spawn point here, and at the same time the mosquito is threatening to cover the ladybug as a beetle. So black has to defend, white places the last ant. Black goes for this move, which I'm not sure 100% what. If the spider moves away, if this ant moves away, my ant number 3, then the spider will be able to go here and basically do a pin replacement, because then the black ant 1 would be free. But I don't think black has time actually to go for something like that. White pins the spider. Okay, sure. Time for black to place the last ant, but now white has got quite a comfortable position. Although we'll see it's not so straightforward to exploit. Makes sense to pin the mosquito here as the most valuable piece, and also threatening eventually to cover the ladybug. I decide to go for this move because otherwise the black beetle would move over the ladybug, and then there is a chance for actually black to cover the white mosquito, and then the black ant would be free again. So yeah, other moves are, for instance, pin replacement immediately, which is something I think I've played later. After this move, maybe white is still okay, because we can go for this ring. The idea is to use this white beetle to recover, and at the same time freeing the white ant. Of course, one of the two, because both moves break the ring. Or white could just go on with the pin replacement, actually. And then after this, black can just pin the ant, and maybe not exactly, because white can basically roll the beetles. Maybe this is not actually. Yeah, I probably should have gone directly for the pin replacement. But okay, this cannot be a bad move. It also threatens to pin to cover the black ant. Black is trying to pin the white ant. Time to place another beetle. I'm trying to get my 2 beetles on the black ladybug, and then having a majority of beetle will allow me to march slowly to the black queen. Of black defends this way, so now it would be silly actually to move on with the beetle, because black has 2 beetles, and this will be quite good for black. Because if white doesn't have any beetle, it will be very hard for them to how do you say? Oh my god! To qualify for the win, to neutralize the pillbug. And black might have a bit more chances in the long run, actually. So no, I decide to cover the ant in the meanwhile, and then go for the pin replacement. Black has a temporary sort of majority, beetle majority, but he had to do that by moving on top of the black ladybug, which means that in the long run it's also not great for black. And since I can free my ant, and potentially if the grasshopper gets in this space, free another ant, I think the ant majority will be better than a beetle majority. But yeah, it's still, I think white is more comfortable, definitely. It must have some advantage, but still a bit early probably. Okay, I decided to go for this move, create a ring, but the idea is the same, just to free the ant, but probably this would have also worked. I think I just like the idea of having a ring. The mosquito keeps going. And yeah, the idea would be to cover the queen and get 2 direct drops, right? Which still is not enough to win, technically. Like, even if I allowed that, let's say I play this, and goes here. Black doesn't really have enough pieces. Well, maybe if I don't do really anything, black will be able to win, because it can drop 2 pieces and then cover the pill bug, and then this other beetle here will be able to march. So, but I really have to like do nothing. But what I've done instead is to warp the queen away. Black can still go on and march on the queen, but I think he realized that counterattacking at this point is not really helpful. You need to free some more pieces if you want your attack to succeed later on. And my idea, that you'll see in a second, was to make this nice ring. The problem for white now is that there's no easy way to qualify for the win. I have 2 extra pieces in reserve. I have a free ant, so material-wise I'm quite okay. But first of all, I have to keep an eye on this ant that could be free eventually, ant number 2. And second, black has this beetle majority for the moment that I cannot really work against. Nice move for black. It will free the ant. Although this spider here is also in a good position, so even if the ant pins the other ant, I will have the spider to repin the ant, and that will be still okay. But I decide to avoid that completely, and now the ant cannot get out of here because of the gate, and I cannot pin the ant, of course. So yeah, basically there's no way for this ant to get out. Maybe making another ring would have been quite interesting, because it makes a double ring. Like, there are 2 rings in place, but I don't think in the end it would really change much the result. This move could have been interesting, potentially. So the idea is that if white doesn't play anything, then the spider will get here, and then the black hand 1 could be free because of the ring. So let's say white plays this. I will play something like this, and now white has to break the ring with ladybug, otherwise this ant will get free. So yeah, of course these 2 black ants get stuck, but so are stuck are also all the other white ants. So at this point, I think it does become a bit complicated for white to convert the advantage. There's probably a way, but it must be a long end game. But black decided to do something different. It just goes for another plan. It says, okay, the black hand here is just it's just I just gonna leave it there and give up on that, and I'll use the pill bug to move here to the right and pin the white ant and free this grasshopper, which could be useful later on if it goes back into the center. And now there is a very good move for white. I think I found maybe the only move that allows me to have some advantage. The idea was that I want to free this mosquito. The only way to free this mosquito is to create another connection of the hive, and the only way to create another connection is to get down with this beetle. If this beetle gets covered, then I can use the mosquito to recover the beetle. So if this happened, then I could go for this, and now I can qualify for the win because the mosquito will reach the black queen. And then I will have to figure out, of course, how to win after that, but it's an important step. So probably black would have been better playing something different, something like this. No, wait, this is actually the same, because after... oh, no, it's not the same. After this move, of course, covering the beetle would not work, right? Because we're in the same, pretty much the same situation as before. But after white goes down with the beetle here, black would be able to actually get out with a hopper, right? For something like this, maybe. And now the beetle is stuck. Probably there are other ways for white to unlock it, actually. Maybe something like this. But then the black mosquito covers the beetle, and it's a bit unclear how actually white qualifies for the win. Oh, well, I mean, there are ways to force it, like something like this, maybe. But now the black hand is free. I'm not sure, and maybe I'm squeezing it too much, actually. So this was actually the black, let's say, got distracted for a second. Unfortunately, this was the moment I had to carpe diem, get the moment, because otherwise it would have been complicated. Be patient, wait for the right time to strike, and this was the right time for white. Black goes on with the plan, and my idea was to create another ring and then decide how to break it later on. The thing is that since the black hand here is stuck in the bidirectional pin, I basically have a choice myself how to break the ring. And also this hopper could jump in here and then end up into a kill spot southeast. So black tries to keep some mobile grasshopper in the center, potentially to free the ant again later on, although there's no clear way to do it right now. I create a ring, black moves the mosquito, I decide to finally cover the queen. My queen is covered, but there's not so much really that black can do anyway. Now it's actually an interesting position, because now I have to figure out what's really the way to win, because okay, I qualify for the win, but if I just attack blindly, something like this, this black hopper can get out, and it's not that obvious how I control this how I reach these spots. Well, one can be done with the beetle, but now black really starts to get free pieces. Maybe something like no, okay, I thought the white hand could get in here, but it cannot because of this gate. So how does white free these grasshoppers here? Yeah, it's not super clear. If white takes the other kill spot, then this ant is free, and now black basically wins. So again, white has to be patient and find the right way to attack without leaving, without letting too many pieces of your opponent free. So the first idea is, since the black grasshopper here is next to the black queen, covering it means that black will have one less piece to play, and that piece is in a kill spot. So great. Black decided to cover my queen here, my beetle here, although this leaves my beetle free, and leaves a potential attack with a grasshopper. That was possible already, but the problem of this, again, as I said, is first that this black grasshopper is free to move, and that this ant can be warped by the black by the black pillbag. So after something like this, we enter in this position where white could keep attacking, but then black would like warp away pieces until until usually black has a better position, or it can just defend. So I have to be careful when to do it. So first cover the ladybug, then get in there. Black decided not to warp the ant straight away. I mean, there's no need to do it immediately. Probably more important is to free the ladybug. I didn't want my ant to be warped away, so I just moved it out, and then I thought I would decide later on how to actually reach the right kill spots. Probably this one is the most problematic one at the moment because of the gate, and I don't have any piece that can reach it any easily at the moment. Also, black has got at least one of these two pieces free. Oh, and the hopper, I forgot about the hopper. This is kind of a counter-attack that comes I mean late, but also the black doesn't have enough pieces anyway, so probably black should have waited and play some sort of waiting move. Maybe this hopper, maybe just the mosquito, covering the pillbug, because after this move I get this hopper free as well. And I also still have the option with the pillbug later on to warp the hopper away and create a ring again. I decided to just move it in with the idea of freeing my ladybug, which was, I think, the best way to just free more pieces. I just have to be careful because now both pieces are free, the hopper and the ladybug. But yeah, there's no really threat because black again is short one piece at least. So I attack here. The ladybug is free, but of course if the ladybug was just attacking, my pillbug would just warp this away, and then the pillbug would move out. So it decides to move here to create a gate. Otherwise the white ant would have been able to get in there. It's not clear how do I get the last kill spot actually, but I have also another free hopper here. I mean, there must be some way. So now I went out with the pillbug, with the hopper. The idea was to keep this ladybug stuck in there. I have to self-pin, kind of anchor my hopper here, and then rearrange my pieces in the way I want, and then attack again. So black moves the beetle, I anchor my hopper. Freeing my mosquito is probably not a good idea, but well, there are many like problems in the position. Although it's not super clear how I would win. At this point, this is a trigger point. If I attack here, the ladybug gets out. So probably just a waiting move for black would be okay. Again, this waiting move would be fine, I think. After this, there's no like obvious way for white to win, because now this space is problematic. I probably have to play this. Yeah, maybe this was my idea actually. And after I'm threatening the white ant to get in here where the ladybug was, and then finally to win in the next move. And at this point, actually, yeah, there's not much that that black can do. Black decided to let my mosquito out, but at this point I can just attack, and now again there's no way for black to defend, and just decide to give up. Maybe one way was to actually move here with the beetle and create a gate, but this actually doesn't work there is a nice move, this one, and now white has two ways to win, one with this grasshopper, one with the other grasshopper. Nice, would have been a nice finish as well. So okay, this was the first game, I won. What about the second game? Second game I was playing black, and I decided to go for the traffic light defense, which I play quite often. Depends. It's still a bit risky, but I also had very good games with it. So I think it's still playable. The traffic, let's call traffic light because it may be too small. Oh, that's too big. It's called traffic light because there is a grasshopper, queen, and the ladybug in a line, and if you notice the color is it's actually green, yellow, and red. So it's basically an anti-spawn defense, but with the idea of having the pillbug in reserve and playing it later on, basically. The issue with it is that you don't have the combo pillbug mosquito, which is quite crucial in the anti-spawn setup. But let's see how it goes. Now I decide to place a beetle to stop the beetle from covering my hopper and then the queen, although it's not really necessary 100%, because the point exactly of the anti-spawn defense is that since you have also a ladybug here, even if white covers the queen, it's not such a big problem. So I could have played maybe something like this. The bigger problem actually of beetle covering the hopper is that white gains this extra spawn point here. That is probably the most problematic thing. So there was an option also to play this maybe, but this becomes a bit more aggressive and risky, I would say. But it's a completely different game. Maybe it's not too bad, but I decided to play a bit more solid in this way. A good move from white. White has got a beetle already on top and ant plus mosquito. I decided to spawn an ant here to basically create a pocket for the beetle. But it wasn't really, again, necessary, because after this, if white takes the beetle, I can just cover, and it's a typical kind of bait. Because now white will have problems with the mosquito stuck here. Even if white pins the ant and control the spawn points, this spawn point here, I mean southeast of the queen, then black can cover the mosquito and has this spawn point here. Actually, the beetle comes here, so maybe wasn't so. But after this, what happened? I think this could, no, well, I think white has to sacrifice now an ant, otherwise. Okay, well, I will just go for this again, and maybe this was still playable actually for black. But I decided instead of allowing the bait, I said, okay, I will just not allow that, I'll play this. What can go wrong? But actually white played a very interesting and aggressive move. So normally this kind of moves are a bit frowned upon, because this is a trigger point that white just occupied, and this hopper is free to move. The thing is, where is this hopper going? It's not clear 100% where this will this hopper go. And the thing is, if this hopper doesn't move, like something like this, of course, will be a blunder because white just wins. So I have to move one of the pieces around or pin the mosquito, which is the only piece that can take the kill shot. But white will still have some threats. This is not a threat directly, but my ant here can be warped by the mosquito. So I have to anchor it somehow. Normally I would anchor it with a beetle. Maybe was a better choice actually. But I thought that I could still use the ant here to threaten a counterattack eventually. Because I felt that white would also run out of spawn points around here, or it would be good for black to control some spawn points around the white bee, the white queen. But yeah, probably it's not the best move. We'll see now. White is threatening to win, so I need to get out. And now white covered the ladybug, and now probably the mistake. It seems a natural move. I create a pocket for the beetle, and I also the pillbug is in a proximity position with the queen, and I prepare basically to get another ant in here. The problem though is that also there is another option for black later, is to just move the queen out. I probably should have done it before. The problem is that I get this this line of pieces, which is not really appealing, and also white can attack the queen straight away. I felt this would be a bit too dangerous. Maybe could have worked. I'm not sure. Maybe it could have worked still, but it feels a bit dangerous. But that's not even the worst problem. The worst problem here is that white will just switch to a control game, and now white has basically a positionally won game, almost won. The idea is that the ladybug will move here west of the pillbug, and the mosquito is free, and now black has two ants stuck in line. It's probably very hard to recover here already. Okay, sure, I have two ants here. The problem though is that there's no really way to stop the mosquito. The only way I found was this: create a gate. So if the mosquito decides to go out, okay, I can pin it with my mosquito or ant. But I mean, white also has two ants in reserve, and remember, a beetle already on top of the hive. So white decided to spawn an ant here. Interesting, because he will keep my ladybug in a bidirectional pin. I pin the ant and trying to control this potential pocket. The problem is that also my beetle here is stuck whenever it moves. If it moves here, of course, this is very bad for black. White just covered, and there's nothing to do. Where is my beetle gonna go? I think my beetle has to stay here. I decided to pin the hopper, although yeah, maybe I should have gone for a pin replacement at this point. But once I replace the ant, then my mosquito will be able actually to play, because it's not perfectly clear how white is gonna win at the moment. But although it has a good positional advantage, probably white can go again as well for replacement, pin replacement. I pin it, and then if white plays an ant, we get basically all our ants pinned pretty much. But then white has this mosquito that can now act as an ant, and this beetle is in danger now. Maybe still I can do this. Interesting. But my idea of moving with the pillbug to west and free this beetle is not available anymore, because I will just lose. So I mean, this is quite many moves. There are definitely many options for both players, but instead I decide to pin the hopper, and now after the ant comes out I have to switch the pin, but white has basically won a tempo here. The mosquito also gained a pocket. I thought I would, maybe this was better. It seems it will be better, but I thought the mosquito will just go here, and I have to move here anyway. So the mosquito gets in the pocket. I decide to move my beetle here, and then the pillbug here, so that whenever the beetle moves, at least my beetle underneath could recover potentially. But white plays, I think it's called relief sacrifice, something like that. But the idea is that now the white beetle can move and the black beetle cannot follow the white beetle, sorry. This is probably the last blunder, one of the last blunders. This spider here is just it's just not clear what it's doing. But the position is quite complicated for black already. Something like this could have been interesting, but I think white just moves the queen away, and now my beetle is stuck there. There's no way. Basically, black has a long string of pieces here, 1 2 3 4. No, not great. Or maybe I could play this for. Oh no, actually, this is even worse. No, not much to do. But after mosquito, after black places the spider, white decide to pin it with a mosquito, which is always a bit risky, in the sense that converting the mosquito into a spider is unusual. But at this point, I think white had not much to be worried about. The beetle is already in the proximity of the queen, and white has still 4 pieces in reserve. So I try to move my pill bug into a sort of more safe area, but the problem is that I left a spawn point for white here, and there's not much to do at this point. If I try to pin it, this ant is free, and I think white could go for something like this. Maybe not straight away, but well, it could easily do something like this, and now the mosquito is free again, and the mosquito can move like an ant, and at this point again it becomes very hard for black. Well, it was already hard, so but even harder probably. I decided to do this, and I try to kind of bother white with this idea again. The difference is that now the queen cannot be warped away because it's pinned, and the beetle is, and the pillbug is pinned as well. So I have time to actually cover the queen or the pillbug. Not that I can do much, but I hoped that I could maybe create some spawn point or something here for me. But I decided to pin the queen, but probably all in all the best was to pin the pillbug and then go pinning the ant, so I will free my ant. Although white still has a good option, even just this would probably be enough. And now I don't have any plan really. I have this space for the hopper, so instead of this, white could have played this, and then I have this plan, but this creates a direct drop here. I can stop the direct drop as I did actually in this way, controlling with the spider. But again, I think maybe this was a better way actually for black to resist, but after this one, white creates even more spawn point around here, and they can easily put another hopper or spider, placing one somewhere here, and white should be fine again. But so what happened basically was that I covered the queen, and I placed this here, thinking that I would control that spawn point and create a sort of a gate, a next trap actually, because if white tries to attack northwest of my queen, then my ant will be free. But notice also this hopper is in the right position to attack. This placement of the hopper here was completely random. I don't know what I was thinking. It was just But there's not much to do really. I can play the ant here and control again the spawn point, but I think black should be able to win again somehow. Oh no, actually I don't want to get here yet. What is white doing? Maybe I could have survived here. Interesting, but I don't know. Feels very strange that I can survive in this position. But I decided instead to place the hopper here, and I think this was the mistake, that just everything pinned, and this one is the final blunder. The idea would be to free my ant, right? I mean, it seems sensible, but white plays this move here, and after I get here the spider attacks, and basically at this point the threat is, well, there is one threat. He tried with a hopper to hop in here west of the queen, and then the beetle goes down, or this beetle number 1 goes down, and then beetle number 2 goes down as well. At this point I really didn't have so after this would win, and after these beetles cannot be stopped, so something like this, with the idea that the beetle goes down, my beetle goes up, but of course this loses again straight away. The only thing was trying to free this hopper, but I cannot do it. I mean, if I create a ring like that, white wins again. So at this point I had nothing to do. I try to free my hopper, but now interestingly the other hopper comes in play, and even if my hopper is free, there's nothing to do, and white wins. So at this point of the match, after 2 games, it's 1-1. I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite a long analysis because it was 2 games. I hope it was useful, and see you soon for another video. Bye.